This is the Kathryn Dunn Show. You guys are amazing. Welcome, everyone, and thank you. I am Kathryn Dunn. Yes, this is Elaine Vadio, Chris Cece, Matt Capazzi, my mom, Lucy Dunn, and Bull is with us today. And I don't know if you saw, I thought I set it up better, but I didn't. It is somebody's birthday. So, should they show up, you know, we'll crown her. You get to see her in a crown. That is not the Trixie Cam.
Wait, is it the Queen of England?
Yes, Trixie is the Queen of England.
Princess Crush?
I definitely don't like that. Damn it. Oh well. It's Trix. It's Miss Trix Mix. The one, the only. It is her birthday. It is her 13th coming up this month. Yeah.
She's finally a teenager.
I know. Oh my goodness.
She wants driver's ed
now
now.
the trouble starts.
You what?
Now the trouble starts.
Yeah. Speaking of trouble, this wig is hot, and it's kind of one of those like, here's what I ordered and here's what I got situations. But it's on, and I'm wearing blue because it's my dog's birthday, and I've decided that that's a good color to represent that. Who cares? It's actually her birthday month, so we'll be kicking it off for like a month. She'll be partying all month long.
I get a birthday month. Why not?
Yeah, right. I do it.
Why not?
Thank you all
get
for
a
showing
birthday
up.
month.
And as a reward, I have an extra special.
Guess what you're drinking?
Can't hear.
Wine and Whisper Light ASMR.
As always, try to guess what I'm drinking based on how it sounds. Today I'm going to give you a little clue.
It's a cake.
No, don't talk yet. This is going to be the most beautiful thing you've ever heard. Ready?
Fine.
Carbonated.
Shut the fuck up. Ready?
It's a carbon unit. Is it feature?
Stop it.
Feature.
Stop it.
That's feature.
Feature.
Feature light.
Shush. Ready? Everybody ready?
Oh, that's totally feature.
Feature.
If you like ASMR, you are climaxing right now because that was some good fucking noise. Now, what did you say it was based on how it sounds?
Feature light.
Feature.
Feature. Star
What
Trek.
is that?
The movie.
You're drinking a carbon. You're drinking a carbon unit.
Which is like people.
Drinking a people carbon unit. It is true.
No, well, V'ger swallowed up carbon units.
You guessed correctly.
They were his master.
Yeah. And feature is where the Borg came from.
I don't know what that is. What board? Okay, look. This is now Wine and a Whisper. Let's complain about shit. I got shit to complain about.
Go for it.
What?
What shit to complain about?
Have you guys watched Ozark?
No.
Justin Bateman. 4.
I haven't started the new season yet.
All right, well, spoilers. Justin Bateman has never, ever done dishes in his life. Like, he literally doesn't know how to hold dishes. He can't hold dishes. He can't hold glasses. It's like the weird, like I watch him and I'm like, you've never been a waiter. But he was a child star. Of course he's never been a waiter. But like, he also can't fucking wash a dish. The man doesn't know how to wash dishes. He's trying to act like a person washing a dish. And he's just like, what is this?
Jason Bateman has the excuse of having been a rich child star that always had servants. What's my ex-boyfriend's excuse? He's just a misogynist.
Ah,
Yeah.
my brother used to say he was
Except nobody
allergic.
should.
Wait, my brother used to say he was allergic to the hands to the dishwashing soap, so I'd have to do them.
Which brother?
I give you credit.
Peter.
I knew that.
You want me to give you crazy for rich people?
Yeah, let's hear crazy for rich people. That might be the next shade soup for the soul.
Okay,
Right.
I have to say
This is a-
eccentric when it was a rich person.
Yeah.
This is right by
You are
somebody
correct.
who was a what? He was a security guard for a really wealthy lady. And she goes in, he had to go into a supermarket.
You're shouting.
So she goes in and she goes, what is this place? And he's like, it's a supermarket. I've never seen one of these. Well, how do you get food in your house? You just open the refrigerator.
Elves. They
So
believe in elves.
Didn't they think they were walking into a large refrigerator?
Uh-huh. They don't know. The refrigerator gets full, like Mary Poppins' bag.
Someone with so much.
It's necessary to go to Planet Supermarket every once in a while to get supplies.
Yeah. I know somebody that was so privileged they took pride in the fact that they couldn't boil water for tea. Literally no concept as to how. None.
Well, I was watching that celebrity ranch where they're almost famous. Where the kids of celebrities are put on a ranch and made to run the cattle drive. Yes, the cattle
About
drive.
relatively famous.
Yeah.
Goddamn whispering.
Anyway, Shaq's kid made it 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Maybe 2 days. It might have been less. He said, I can't get my hands dirty.
Shaq's child's beautiful.
Privileged.
That's what happens. Why wouldn't it? They've never had to do anything. Why should they start?
It's true. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to do anything. They put them in that celebrity house and they have to do their own meals. Carson was baking cakes. What?
They're missing out if they don't cook.
Cakes. That's all they could make. That's all they knew how to cook.
Like let them eat cake? This isn't
That's
real.
it. That's all he knew how to make. Every night, Carson Daly would make cakes.
Carson Daly or Carson Daly's child?
Oh, this was the other show. That was Celebrity.
Oh.
Celebrity. Sorry. I
All
screamed
right.
Celebrity.
That was Wine and a Whisper.
Already.
And now
Oh, thank God.
We can stop whispering.
Yeah.
God.
stop, everybody shout.
I never understood. Still don't understand the whine and the whisper. Well, what am I?
You never
Yeah.
will. And now it's
Never
time
will.
for
You know why? Especially
What?
now that it's visual.
Yeah.
Now that it's visual, what's the point? We can see what you're drinking.
I can't rap without the facts. So let me let you know where this world is at. Everybody screaming the blue and yellow flag, but they only know the half. Misinformation is bad. Like some report that said 352, while others say 2,870 is true. We're close to 1 million refugees in mass, and dark Ukrainians are having a harder time passing. I'm not lying, discrimination and wars. You're not beating a dead horse, it's quite alive on the floor. Even Sean Penn had a problem crossing to Poland. The Russian ruble value is now swollen. H&M's are closing, Ikeas are closing. Exxon, BP, and Shell are stopping their oil from flowing. Deplorable Russia has 141 countries voting to leave Ukraine, but Putin's stubborn as a bovine. FIFA and UEFA have no time. Paralympics canceled them too. Putin's statue removed from the Wax Museum in Paris. Obvious. Germany just sent Ukraine 2,700 rockets. A businessman put $1 million bounty on Vladimir. Ukraine signs to EU, but it's gonna take some years. Mariupol is surrounded. Kherson is taking over. Kiev is stalling because they're fighting back by the numbers. And I just noticed I spent 24 measures on this one endeavor. This world's still not together. Hong Kong braces for the next lockdown. Australia's gonna flood. Taiwan lost so much power, they're in shock now. Wellington protests, not cause the war is wrong. COVID mandates have them all burning Parliament's lawn. Police are removing JetBlue pilots from getting drunk. Alaska shook at 5.2 and yet they stay strong. Yeesh, good news, good news. Okay, let's all support Ketanji Jackson, first black female in Supreme Court. Squid Game made history, this time in SAG form. The first non-English TV show to win acting awards. Lynching is now a hate crime. I know, right, duh? Biden's State of the Union address shed some light up. New York State, along with Cali, Oregon, and Washington, lifting school mask mandates, so that's a positive.
He's so good.
Yes, Roberto. That was the weekly wrap down. Unfortunately, he's not with us, but do check out Supreme Bars NYC. IKEA's closing?
Kiss is closing? What?
IKEA is closing?
I wonder if it's in those countries.
Maybe that's what that's what it was.
That makes more sense.
That would make sense because a lot of them are like UEFA and all that soccer stuff's all being taken away, and there's a whole lot.
Could you imagine having to check in at your retail job at H&M during what's going on right now? Like that would be absurd.
It's war.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. All right. I thought like all IKEAs.
Well, now I'm wondering about like, I guess are clothing stores open? Like, what's life like?
They're fleeing the country or they're going to bomb shelters if they have them.
Yeah. I don't think clothing stores are open. I can't imagine.
It's just, I'm wondering like, but why is it news that these two particular companies, like IKEA and H&M, like,
oh, it's not just that. A lot of people, there's a lot of stores that have said, not stores, excuse me, Exxon, a lot of companies are saying they're ceasing operations in Russia for the moment. So I guess those were just part of those businesses that are ceasing operations in Russia at the moment.
Right.
This is amazing.
Oh, amazing. I'm not sure about that one.
Amazing. No, what I mean by amazing is that it's just mind-boggling that all of this is going on globally, and that it could be, in that sense, I'm amazed by the craziness or whatever. It's not a good thing. It's just what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's
more
insane.
from that angle.
Christina, are you still not watching any of it?
I mean, it's not that I'm not watching it. I never said I was not watching it. I said I wasn't seeking it out because I knew I was going to see it anyway.
Yeah.
And I have been seeing it. Like, I see it every day.
Yep. Oh, they cut off Russia Today in Europe. You can't see Russia Today. Germany cut it off.
What do you mean cut it off?
There's a TV channel called Russia Today.
Oh, that's what you mean by Russia Today. Got it.
Yeah. And that's, Edith was saying that the Germans, it doesn't show in Germany. I don't know if it shows here. I could look. I should look, shouldn't I?
What, if it shows?
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine it doesn't.
If they're closing, you guys are talking about store closings in Russia or in Ukraine?
Russia. Oh, I want to say Russia from sanctions.
If they're
the stores in the Ukraine are closing because they're being bombed.
Yeah.
But the stores in Russia are closing because they're being, what's that word? Sanctioned.
But okay, so Russia is going to have like high unemployment, and their economy is like, it might tank. So I don't know if
their economy was doing very, very well, but now with their monies being held and their this being done, I don't know, that I think might really obviously make an impact.
Yep.
Because the US dollar went up. The US dollar went up considerably today or yesterday since Biden's speech.
Wow.
It's now like 110 to the euro. It's either the euro went down or the dollar really went up. But all the currencies based on the dollar, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, New Zealand dollar, all those dollars, they've all gone up.
And there's
Which
a
is really good
pipeline
news
to
because
the
now we're
middle of
110 to the
Ukraine.
euro.
What? I mean,
One,
just
110 to the euro is good.
if people in Russia are losing jobs, then there's going to be like, more poverty in Russia, and Russia is Russia is slowly going downhill because of
No,
this.
there's oil under the Ukraine.
That's why it's not just oil. It's a lot of minerals, but mostly
And a
it's the
pipeline. There's a
natural gas.
pipeline.
It's
Yeah, there's a
natural gas
pipeline.
pipelines. And
Yeah,
what's
they're
happened
fighting
all
over.
these years, and this is what I understand from this side, is that the Ukraine, because the pipeline goes through the Ukraine has been taking that natural gas. They're saying, well, you're using our land, we're taking the gas, we're not paying for it. So that was an argument that they've had for many years. So then Russia created this thing, okay, now we're going to go overland or something. I'm not really sure the details of that pipeline, but it's definitely at the core.
That's one of the major reasons. The war machine in the pipeline. Nothing to do with anything else. Ridiculous.
No, NATO's the other one. It has to do with NATO too somehow. I'm not sure how that works out. But the fact that the Ukraine now, with all of this that's going on, Europe is embracing it and saying, oh yes, Ukraine, you're now part of Europe. What a minute here.
Doesn't Russia and Germany have the Nord Stream 2 pipeline? And hasn't that
It's
been
going to go, and that's going to go over or something. That's going to be different. That's an agreement that they did. I'm not sure what the details of that one are, but that is an agreement that has been worked out.
Yeah. I think they said that was halted because of the invasion.
Yes. No, everything's been halted because of the invasion. Just please tell me they're not going to halt tourism, please. I can't do another year of this. I can't. I want to see people. Sort of.
No, you don't. You think you do. You really think you do. But then when you start seeing them, you go,
I want to work again. I want to get out on the road.
I'm working and I'm seeing people, but I'm just telling you.
I like
you do. You do, but just so you know, it's not all roses and candy, okay?
I'd like to do it this year.
I got my 20-year pin this week. I'm supposed to be a big shot now.
Yay.
So everyone's like, what'd you get so far? I'm like, a pin that says 20 years.
What, no watch? Or is that a 50? Is it 25?
They give you a catalog. They give you a catalog and you pick out what you want. So, but one of the other guys who got 20 years ordered the watch, and I'm not impressed by that watch. It doesn't say the company name. It doesn't even say the union on it. It's just a watch. You know what I mean?
A watch from where?
From a catalog. You get to pick your gift. Like Jeff got a food processor.
It's a Rolex.
Yeah, it's a Rolex. 20 years at the garden. That's it. 20 years.
Some dumb watch with no engraving.
Yeah, that's how I'd be like scraping your name in the back. Wait a second. Where's the apple? I have an apple somewhere. They give you an apple for 5 years, like a paperweight.
Oh, like a clear one?
No, it was like pewter.
Like a metal apple. Okay.
Yeah, it was like pewter. And then I used to keep it on my desk at my last job, like, hint, hint, my part-time job gave me something. They didn't take the hint.
Recognition. Recognition.
Come on, you're not asking for much. Even the pin, they called my name on a night I wasn't working and then gave it to me the next day when I came in. It's an organization. I love it. I just want a cake. Do you understand? I want the cake. That's what I want. The 20-year cake. I didn't get it at my last job. I want it at this job.
Let them eat cake.
Ta-da.
And SAG, that was good. That Squid Game, also Coda. You know, I'm not speaking. Roy Coatzar was the first deaf actor to be nominated and win a SAG. Well, I don't know about nominated, but to win a SAG award. So that was also history making. Coda was a mostly deaf. It was predominantly deaf cast. Well, I don't know that it was. The main characters were predominantly deaf actors. So that was history making because they also won. And then of course Squid Game. So that was exciting. My mother and I got to watch it together. So that was also fun.
We did.
Yeah.
Aw.
I'm
Yeah.
freezing. Because she doesn't have it on her TV. Strangely enough, I do here in Greece.
Because
had
she's
it.
got a sling box or something. So I watched it on her phone, on my phone or something, like barely,
Aye.
but together. Yeah. And now for uplifting animal news.
Okay. This first one, Kathryn, is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Your pal, Hank the Tank. The South
Yes.
Lake Tahoe 500-pound bear that was called the looter and awful names was exonerated due to DNA evidence that they used DNA on a bear to prove that he wasn't the only bear doing the looting. Just saying. I think that's
so
good news for
rude of
you.
them to like
I think-
target poor Hank. I think
Yeah.
that somebody should should sue.
I just
for-
think it's lousy detective work, you know, like, sure, you're so ready to believe that it's just this one serial killer bear instead of that it could actually just be a bunch of random things.
bears being bears. It could
Just
just be
bears being bears.
bearsing.
People need to be better about leaving food outside. You know?
Bears break into bear boxes, bears
Yeah.
break into houses that we're in their neighborhood. So, you know,
If you put a lot of food garbage in your flimsy garbages in bear country, the bears are going to come. So don't do that.
Hey, buddy, boo!
I know where there's
So
a picnic.
you don't feed the bear, you don't poke the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Snuggle bear.
I
Because
love
I'm okay
bears.
with feeding it, sort of.
No,
Do that.
no, don't
You're
don't
not
feed the bears.
supposed to. You're
No,
not
don't feed the
supposed to.
bears. No, you guys don't. Seriously, don't. Like, they will shoot the bear if you feed it. Please don't feed
Yeah.
the bears.
Yeah,
Oh my
there was
God, don't do that. Yeah.
yeah, there was a
They should shoot
baby.
people. I wish they would
Don't-
change the legislation.
There was
So
a
can I
baby
ask you something?
bear.
Okay, so you don't
It-
feed the bear, because if
Right.
it comes into your land, they're going to shoot the bear.
Right.
So what happens? Doesn't it go further into other areas to try to get food and not back into the wilderness that it couldn't feed from? Because you're in its area.
Wait, what it is you have to lock up your garbage and make it uneasy for them to get it. Like,
I understand, but my question is something else. If you do that, as you're supposed to do, then the bear says, okay, there's no food here. Let me go further. It's not going further back into the woods. It's going further back and more into the cities. No?
it's going anywhere it smells food. They eat
So
birds.
I'm
They
hearing
mostly
that we
will
should
go
have
back.
a bear buffet for bears so that they don't have to eat our
Exactly.
foods.
It's
The
very
bears
rare that
need
the
buffets.
bears.
What?
Yeah. It's very rare that the bears go into the cities. I mean, it
They
has
don't like
happened on
people.
occasion.
But they're
Yeah,
they
doing
don't
more
like-
more now.
I remember
I'm
a
guessing
bear.
it's a necessity.
A bear ended up in East Orange by accident once. East Orange is like an inner city in New Jersey in Essex County. Maybe it's half an hour from Midtown Manhattan on the train. Maybe less, I'm not sure. Anyway, the poor bear just like climbed up a tree in the middle of the hood because like where else was it gonna go?
It got
And then they like
scared.
darted it and like drove it back out into the wild.
Was it trying to get the sneakers down?
I don't know what it was trying to do.
All right. There was one at the
Maybe it
beer
just wanted to be a
distributor,
bear.
and it was hanging out in the garbage, the dumpster, and they had to call animal control on it. That's why you can't feed them, because if they get too used to being around humans, then they shoot them. So you try to.
There are very different kinds of bears. I mean, there are some bears that are intimidating, and then there are bears that eat eucalyptus leaves and just get high out of their minds and roll around on the
Oh, they're
ground.
called koalas.
Koalas. Okay. I mean, there are like silly bears that just get
Yeah.
really high, and then there are like bears that they're either hungry or angry.
But what you're
picnic
saying
bears.
is bears who get high are not hungry and angry, which means everybody should
There
get
you
high.
go.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
But
Science.
they fall out the tree.
Well,
No,
there
but-
was a cocaine bear. Remember him?
No,
No.
I'm
What?
cocaine bear.
Yeah, there was a cocaine bear. There was like like some drugs were getting
please
flown in
don't.
and the plane crashed. And this bear like found a
Plane
bag full of
crashed down.
cocaine.
The bear thought, oh
Oh my
isn't this
God.
nice?
Yeah.
I let
I'm
him
gonna clean the
free. I let
driveway.
him
I'm gonna
free.
clean the driveway. I'm gonna clean everything. I'm gonna clean everything.
How did he have a little snow on his
White
snoot? Like,
note.
how did they figure it out?
I want to know what happened when that little bag finished and he needed more.
Oh,
This
what
big
happens
bag.
now for the poor guy?
It was
I
years
sent
ago, though.
Yeah, I sent him to Alley Pond Park. That's what I
Do
did.
not give bears rolled up dollar bills.
And
They
this has
use
been a
their
bonus
long
artist announcement.
nails. They use their long nails.
They really do have really good
a
coke
friend of mine.
nails.
I have coke
Yeah.
nails.
A friend of mine sent me a picture, and it's a thing with Putin sitting back in his office supposedly, and he's got this mound of cocaine in front of him and white spots on his nose, kind of like Tony Montana from Scarface. So it's that same look in his
Say
office.
hello to my little
My little
friend.
Okay, so on to number 2. Pet owners have better memories and less likely to suffer cognitive decline than petless people. So we're all good, guys. We're all good.
Pet
Okay.
owners are smarter.
And have better memories. Okay. There's a good sign
I
with
feel
your
bad for people who
manatees.
don't have animals because I
What
have
happened?
a really bad memory.
Yeah, exactly. The manatees are doing better. They're showing lettuce in their poop. So that means that they're eating the food that people are leaving those starving, the starving
Yeah.
sea
That's
cows,
good.
as they like to call them.
That's the Florida manatees.
Yeah. Who's
Are they in
checking their
Ohio?
poop?
Or are they in Florida now?
Who's in Florida?
The manatees, wasn't there something about them going to Ohio or?
That was
Yeah.
some of them, but there's still a group in Florida that they're feeding lettuce.
No, I want to go
How
feed
they
lettuce to
getting-
manatees.
Okay,
How
not
they
to.
get Ohio.
They flew some over there to try to,
Oh, okay.
because they were getting too skinny.
Hey, that's great news. That's really uplifting.
And everyone's fatter in Ohio.
Don't you be mocking those Ohio manatees.
Uh-huh.
Okay. A dog napper was caught by a reporter doing a story about the stolen dog.
That's an old one, but a good one.
Spoiler alert, his name was Titus. And
Ooh.
that's the reason I had to put it in, because I knew his name. And the video is as the guy's talking on the microphone and the guy walks by with the dog that was stolen. I thought it was pretty funny. Oops.
Busted!
I want to be on TV. I want to be on TV.
Gee, you seem to know an awful lot about this crime. How is that?
Like, could you imagine the timing on that? You're like, are you the dumbest criminal? Like, how does that even? Because it's just.
Yeah, I
It's
robbed
not
the
immediate.
delicatessen and then I went back to wave at the security camera.
So I robbed the bank this morning, and then I was on my walk home like I do at night, and then I noticed there was a commotion at the bank, so I decided to check it out with my bag of money.
Always
No,
gotta go back.
there was actually a random story I found on the internet a while ago. This guy went missing. Nobody knew where he was. He was really drunk, and he joined the search party to find himself.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that was recent-ishly, like during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think he
think,
couldn't
yeah.
remember his own name. Show me a picture. Show me a picture of who we're looking for.
I like that he was a nice guy, like that he was willing to, with no fucking context whatsoever, just help these people find this other person, missing person.
I'm trying to
Like
find
from
myself.
a stupor. Like from a stupor, you just wake up and you're like, oh, what are all these people doing? Can I help? I'm a reasonable person who can help.
I could see 4 people over there when it's only 2. Sorry.
Aw.
How do you think it was for like the person who figured out who he was? Like, was it the guy searching next to him and he just like
Wait. Yeah, you
looking
look
down
like a
at the
picture.
flyer, like
Yeah, also, how,
looks
no
like you.
offense to all of those nice people, but how dumb are they that they're all looking for this person with this person and they don't notice immediately? Like,
You have to watch it.
immediately.
You
Like,
can't
the first
volunteer to
person
look
he
for
interacted
yourself.
with.
That's like an Abbott and Costello episode. No.
Yes.
I
All
feel
right,
like
we're gonna write this.
psychologists could say something interesting about that.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
Okay.
By the way, I had to look it up real quick. The cocaine bear happened in 1985, and I
Yes,
was
it
wrong
did
on
because the cocaine 80s.
Yeah, I
the,
remember those
the
times.
it wasn't the plane that crashed.
Those were my
It was
bear friends.
a guy was parachuting out and his parachute didn't open. So the whole plane didn't crash, just the parachutist unfortunately crashed.
With the cocaine.
How much
With the
cocaine
with the
is he
70
parachuting with?
75-pound backpack of cocaine.
Well,
Oh,
you know what?
wow.
Maybe his parachute would have deployed or whatever the word is if he didn't have 75 fucking pounds of cocaine in the way.
So
Or if
the
he wasn't so
bear,
wired. It was too wired to pull the rope.
so the bear might have helped this guy die. And the bear also got into the cocaine and overdosed on it.
So there's a grizzly bear.
Aw.
Yeah,
So
it
there's a-
died.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
well, they
there's a
found this
grizzly
bear and they
brown
like,
bear, and a-
Well, if you snort 75 pounds of cocaine, no matter how big your nose is, you're gonna die.
I feel so bad
Well-
for the bear. I wonder how it happened. Oh, what is that?
Aw.
this is from the
Cocaine.
movie. You know,
Staying
Is the
alive,
movie
staying
Cocaine
alive.
Bear?
being directed by Elizabeth Banks
Oh, stop.
and a
Wait,
star
this is
Carrie
happening
Russell.
Carrie
in the
Russell?
future?
This is
Ray
this is happening
Liotta.
now. Ray Liotta, yep, the
Ray
real movie,
Liotta.
you guys.
That's so funny.
Oh,
Oh my god, this simulation that we're living in, or we're all dead, things got interesting sometimes. Sometimes things are interesting. Like, what the fuck is going on right now?
So
There's also
is there,
this.
is there a species of bear called China White?
It's like an albino
Peruvian.
panda, right? Wait, are pandas from China? Where are pandas from?
Panda's the
Peruvian
China.
pink bear.
Right? Okay. I knew that.
Nice.
I was
Panda's a
just
China.
asking
Nice.
guys. Oh, can you save that Care Bears and send it to me?
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Lord.
Cocaine bear.
Guys, just so you know, the cat owners, you cat owners there, you can leave your cat alone 12 to 24 hours before they get lonely. So just so you know, you got 12 or 24 hours before they look at their watch and go, I wonder when they're coming home.
They do.
No.
Yes. But it says 12 to 24 hours. That's a pretty long time before they miss you.
Yeah, right.
No, it's not. My cat
Uh.
misses me immediately. She misses me right now.
Oh,
Watch.
yeah.
You were watching, okay.
She'll come.
Shake a bag
Wait.
full of treats and she'll come.
No, she's
I'm
not like
even gonna use a few words because some wake up.
that.
All right, all three
I
cat.
never.
All right, all three cat owners. This is a contest. All of you call and let's see who gets one first.
What?
My mom will.
Call your
I've
cat.
got money
Call
on
the
my
cat.
mom. If
Well,
you're a
then
betting
next-
person,
Mitzi's
put
already
money on my
here.
mom's cats.
What do you want?
You,
I
are,
want
you,
it to
you
be-
have
yes,
an
which
advantage and you're still voting for your
Like,
mom.
Oh,
Aw,
what's the
Mitzi.
advantage that I
You
already
win.
said it?
Matt
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, my
Matt
girl's
win.
aloof.
What do I have to do? Get the cat to come to me?
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Matt already won.
Matt
Matt
already won.
won.
Ah,
But
I
she didn't
lost
come. He
money.
just looked at the
This
camera.
is why I'm not a good gambler.
She was already there.
Yeah, she knew she
He was already
wanted.
there. The cats are
She
there.
anticipated his needs.
Oh my goodness,
It was the
Mitzi.
shortest distance between two loves.
No, because if I say a certain thing, he's going to get up off his chair and he's going to come to me and he's going to want something. So I have to give it to him. I don't want
Chandler's
to do
gonna
that.
start boxing with the salt and pepper.
No, not Chandler. Chandler's going to stay sleeping, but Joey will come if I say something. If I just call him, if I just say the word, to come here with his name in a certain tone, he will get up off that chair.
I saw a video with this girl. No matter what she said to the dog, as long as she said it loud, the dog would sit down. So she's like, orange juice, cat sits down. Tampon, cat sits down. Everything she said it's like, I don't know why. They thought anything you speak loudly means sit down, maybe you get a treat.
That's a very confused animal.
Well, this one, the one that's on the table now, she knows the expression "get off the table." As soon as she hears it, she looks like, "Oh God, I got to get up again." I just said it, and she lifted her head.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Tony knows the expression. You know, you're not supposed to do that.
She still
She
ignores
doesn't
you.
Listen,
Still
but
ignores
she
you.
knows I'm fucking saying it.
They
Yeah,
know.
Mr. Cute. Mr.
They
Cute
know what
knows.
they're not supposed to do.
Mr.
Yeah.
Cute knows.
Right.
Get off my pillow.
Right?
Get off my pillow.
Right?
So are we
No,
still
yeah.
doing animal news, or are we
Oh,
entitled?
that was
film at
it. The
this point?
last story was about the Ukrainians taking their pets as they flee. So that's not really uplifting, except for they're getting out and they're supposedly have like a no. It's not a ceasefire, but there's a certain amount area that they've cut off to let Ukrainians leave now.
Yeah.
So I guess the pets are getting out with them.
Yeah, the people
That's
are fleeing
good.
with their animals. They're all like, you could see the pictures of them with their animals. It's like really sad. It's then, I mean, also sad is the videos of like the kids talking about how they had to separate from their fathers. But I don't know. It's all very, but it is beautiful to see the people that love
It's
their animals
horrible.
that are, taking them with them, their family, and not abandoning them. And speaking of not abandoning, there is a person in the Ukraine who has a shelter or some sort of rescue or something for animals, for I think it's dogs, but he refuses to leave. He'd rather die with
I
them
saw
than
that. I saw
abandon them.
that.
And that so sad and beautiful and tragic. And then the zoo, they evacuated the animals to, I believe, Poland from the
Yeah.
zoo.
Yeah.
So at least those guys are okay. But I mean, they've also got premature babies in like, I think there's subway base or basements, something scary, like premature babies from the hospital. Anyway, forget it. Back to the uplifting animal news. The zoos are, the animals
That's
are in
it.
Poland.
Zoos, animals are doing better. People not so much. That's what
Yeah.
we're gonna end. We'll end it on. People not so much, but
This
animals
is
are
not
doing better.
uplifting. Say something better. Give us a better story.
Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
No.
I had another one, but no, that was that. No, I don't like any of the other ones.
Do
Sorry.
we know any ways to help the people in the Ukraine?
The UN has a whole thing set up because one of the girls I work with is like, just look up the UN website because there's a lot of fake people out there. So I would send money through the UN if you want to send money or aid.
Also, I did see somebody post this about their specific church and their, town and state, but maybe if you have a Ukrainian something like a community center or a church that's, specific, I don't know, see if they're doing a drive of any sort, because I know that there was a list of things that were needed. And apparently not clothing necessarily.
I'm glad you asked about how to help. I'm glad you asked about how to help people in Ukraine, because I was, on the internet, you don't know if like there's like a scam or something. So I'm gonna look into that UN thing, because I was kind of, I don't know. I just like want to help.
That's what the girl I work with, she takes the same train. I'm in the middle of little Russia, Ukraine here. And there are flags out and whatnot. But she said just go to that website, because we were talking to her at work. She said she's very worried for her family, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know that much about it, but I know that would be a honest, I guess, charity, as opposed to, because some of them look a little fishy on the web, even on Facebook. Some of them look a little fishy.
Yep.
I'll ask her too.
It's always so sad when there are scammers at a time like this.
Yep.
And there's so much of it.
Do you remember when we had the blackout in New York? I don't remember what year it was, that big blackout. Everything went.
Like the
first one?
Summer of Sam?
No, like
the
recently.
70s?
No, like recently.
First one was in the 60s.
2003?
Yeah, something like
the
2003.
first one was in the 60s.
Because I was
remember
working
one
in
2003.
Yeah, because I was working
I
Air
killed my
Lingus.
fish.
We got
No,
into
the best
Queens.
blackout was the first one, where nobody expected it.
But wait, I'm telling a story. We get into Queens.
Sorry.
Now you made me forget. You get into Queens, and people are already selling water out of coolers at the top of all the subways, at the corner of every block. They're selling, like, only Verizon maybe had service at the time, like the only one that could pick up. They were people selling time on their phones. I was like, only in New York does a disaster hit, and people are like, how can I make money on it? Okay, let's sell some water, because it was like a hot summer night. So let's sell cold water, get a cooler, head out to this corner. So that's what
How
you
are
do
they
in a
getting it
blackout.
cold?
I think they already had ice, probably from an ice machine in the bar or something. It was like the first thing they thought of is quick, hit the ice machine. I throw all these,
It'll be
throw these
gone
dollar
soon.
bottles of water and sell them for $5.
You know, I remember the very first one. I was a kid, and it was in the 60s, and it was the one where the whole Eastern Seaboard had, I don't know, we had no electricity for I don't know how many hours, and people were stuck in elevators and helped each other in the stores and the candles but it was a time when everybody helped each other. And then there was one some years later where looting was going on like crazy. And then that happened after when there were blackouts.
Well,
There was looting, there was
2003.
craziness. Yeah, but
Well,
that's
actually,
already
the looting
That was
and
the
that craziness
70s.
that led to the hip hop movement. So I mean, I know as bad as that is, it did kind of create.
That's
something.
true, actually. That's how a lot of MCs got their equipment
Yeah.
Who did
in
that?
hip hop history. Yeah, a lot of MCs got their turntables and their rigs all set up from that blackout in the
What
70s.
year? What
And
year
then-
was that?
That was in the 70s. I don't remember.
Okay, when I
wasn't
was a little
there
kid.
for that.
The-
I was
the
there for
looting
the
one
one in
happened, yeah, 'cause
2003,
one was like
and I
60
remember they were reporting on the news how there was no looting. they're like, here we are. There's no looters.
Here we are coming from the scene of absolutely nothing. Apparently, these kids are losing their edge. I'll tell you, I was around in the 70s, and no musical movements will be born out of this blackout.
And it-
Back to you. Like
No
what?
upgrading of the
Touch
material.
me. Oh, what is it? Oh, never mind.
No upgrading of the
No.
equipment.
Wait. Don't touch me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying hard not to lose my head. Ha 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 ha.
1965, 1977.
That's uplifting. I like that.
1965 was the first blackout, 1977 the second, and 2003.
Yeah,
I just saw-
77 is the one
I
that
just-
birthed hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
but
saw that
65
famous
was the good
DJ.
one.
a good one.
Different reasons.
Hey, the
It was
2003
like-
one was good because there was no looting.
Yeah, was Summer of Sam it was a heat wave, right? Not a blackout, or was it a blackout and a heat wave?
No,
Well,
Summer
the
of Sam was everyone
Wait.
afraid to go to
Brownouts
movies or
and heat waves. Yeah.
Right, but there
Brown-
was something going on, like
Brownouts?
historically. Was it brownouts?
Yeah, the hottest summer and blah blah
Okay.
blah. It's a
Yeah, it
really
was
hot
either a heat
summer.
wave or brownout. There was something. I thought it was the blackout, but I don't know when Son of Sam happened. I thought it was the 70s. Was
I
it
think
was
that-
it the same one as the
it was
hip
the
hop one?
70s.
I think
It
he
was the
might
70s.
be like
It's when
very
Rocky came out.
influenced
It was
by
after
that
70s.
Spike Lee
It was like,
joint.
What? Why? Because I
It
keep
was
calling
like
him Summer and not Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is the summer of Sam, not the Son
Yeah,
of
but
Sam.
the
Fine.
movie is the
What
Summer
summer
of Sam.
did Son of Sam happen?
In the 70s,
Oh,
late
can't
70s,
Google.
like
Good fucking
76,
movie.
77, between 76 and 78. When was Rocky?
Okay,
76.
76 and 78. So that is the blackout. What do you mean when it was Rocky? Was that like the movie you couldn't see because that thing was going on?
No,
That's how you
because
remember it?
I remember going to see Rocky, and a few days later, there was a couple that was shot in their car by Sam. They had just gone to see Rocky. That's why that sticks with me.
That's fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was
So I'm
July
going with
1976 was the first one, and then he was arrested August 1977.
There you go.
Okay.
And
So
Rocky
that's
must
why
have come out in
and
76,
when was the blackout? In 77.
77.
No, I know
July of
when.
77.
Okay, so there it is. There's why
Yeah.
I've kind of associated
It
the
was
two.
yeah,
but-
So the blackout happened like right at the end of the Sam killings, but it wasn't like they all happened during the blackout or anything.
Oh, no.
It was like for
They
like
were
a year
random.
going on.
He was getting couples in cars. I'm telling you that I never forgot the one right there after seeing Rocky.
Now,
He got
Lucy,
that they were in their car.
How do you feel about the people who described the assailant that looked nothing like Berkowitz but did look like his friend from up in Yonkers?
Well,
I don't think he acted alone. If that's what you're getting at, I don't think he acted
Yeah,
alone.
that's what I'm
I
getting
kind
at.
of believe the creepy satanic cult group
Yeah.
theory more
the
than the
dog?
one dude. No, not with the
No,
dog.
the dog was a bullshit cover-up story that he made up so that he could like seem crazy and maybe possibly get off.
Why? Because he's normal.
No, he
It's
wanted. No,
legally
he was
insane
trying to.
versus
He was
just,
trying to
like,
be.
unpleasant.
Yeah, good
insane.
luck.
He was
Yeah,
trying to
good
one
luck.
flew over the cuckoo's nested. He's like, please send me to the nut house instead of to jail. You know.
I just want to
'Cause-
apologize for all our ableist language. Go on, I'm listening.
I'm speaking as if it were 1977. Okay.
All right, Joe Rogan. Sorry.
Say hello to my little friend.
But
It
yes,
was
he was
scary.
trying to get the insanity plea.
Can I tell you something? It was actually scary.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
I mean, I
Yes, tell
remember
us
that being
about it.
scary because you have to understand something. We didn't have that much craziness going on back then like you have now, where crazy is just normal.
It's so fucking normal. It's sad.
Okay, so back then, crazy was crazy, and it was like coming out of the, slowly, and it was building and doing whatever. I mean, I don't know what level, but we were scared. And now they're slashing people in the streets, and they're shooting and whatever, and they're doing
And rubbing feces on people, human feces.
For example, I don't understand.
Terrifying.
Every time.
I don't understand when crazy became normal.
Wait a second. Every time I say I'm going to take the train alone for class, whatever, which I've been keep saying I should go in for that. Every time I say that sentence, a crazy person runs up us on the train and talks and babbles and smokes and sits and jumps and it's through the whole train, the whole ride home. And Jeff goes, "Oh, so you want to ride the train in tomorrow?" And I'm like, "You're right. I think that a lot of people have cracked, like mentally,
Correct.
because of the antisocialness of society the last 2 years. And guess what? We're all getting hungry, and there's no security for food, home, or jobs. So now's the time. Now they're insane. So there's no place to put them like the old days. Nobody cares. They step over
They
them.
empty those places. They let them all out into the
I
street.
check to see if they're breathing.
I checked. I thought of you. The other day I was walking in and there was a guy laying down and I saw blood on the ground. And I was like, uh-oh. And then he moved and I was like, okay, he's alive. So as I left the station, I was looking for the cops. There's always cops on the corner or down at the street edge, or I did not see one cop from 33rd Street all the way into the job. And I was like, there was no one to tell. You know what I mean?
You could have
Sometimes
told the guy at the booth if there was a person at the booth.
there was nobody in the
guys,
booth.
person.
They took the guy
wow.
out of the booth on 33rd. So there was nobody there. It was like Sunday morning. There was nobody in the station, nobody in Penn. Some nights you see them everywhere. Like the next day, there was 2 at the station, the 2 upstairs, but that's a day later, and that guy's gone. So I feel bad. When did it become okay to step over them?
It's not okay.
It's not okay, but you can get slashed. You can get pushed on the train tracks. You can get attacked. They always talk to me. So I always have to be careful because I have that safe face. You know?
Yeah. I was actually at work, the job that I walked out on for the buffet, the germ buffet, with the death plates. Anyway, that job.
They deserved it.
Seriously, like there's a fucking pandemic, not a single mask. What are you thinking? Like
just the fact that they fed the employees and then they got the temps. Like here's the second class of employees.
It's about respect for you.
It's both of the things. It's all of it.
For me, that is maybe on the list, but like for me, that's on the list because then there's more germs. And you're just
point is
eating
that not only
scripts.
are there germs, like it's bad enough that they're germs, but on top of the germs, they're also being classist fucks.
Yeah, no, seriously, they can suck all of my nuts. But before I left, I had a conversation with a man who should have never fucking opened his mouth. I hope you're listening. Just kidding. I don't hope you're listening. I hope you're not listening. Because he was like, why don't you want to? Why would you prefer to be remote? Like, oh, well, that's a good question. Because why would you not? But then he's like, is it COVID? Is it this? I'm like, yeah, it's COVID, but also like everything is crazier. He's like, crime is down. That's what I'm like. a specific
Who
type
told
of
you
crime
crimes down? Yeah, I was
is
gonna say what
down.
crimes down.
Like what
Yeah.
crime?
Wait till you hear.
And then he goes, yeah, homicide's down.
Thanks.
Then I
So
stare at him, and then he knows what the fuck I'm fucking saying with my eyes. And then he says, yeah, petty crime's up. Like, you dumb motherfucker. You just actually, you fucking mansplaining motherfucker about women's safety. I hate you. And then I'm like, yeah, guess what I don't want to be the victim of? A petty fucking crime, you dip fuck. And then we went on and on
Why?
and on.
Because you're okay with homicide?
No, but
that's
I see your
not-
point.
Like, it's down. Homicide's
I
down.
get your point.
I don't have to worry about it.
A crazy guy came on the train, was doing the usual dance. I put my hand in my pocket on my mace, and I looked across from me. There was a lady putting her hand in her pocket on her mace. We both looked at each other and went like this. And then he went on to the next train. But it's like, we're aware that it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I have, yeah.
Yeah, the train ride
It's crazy.
into that conversation with that annoying man who never should have fucking spoke before he opened his mouth to tell me that I'm safe. Suck on my balls. Anyway, what?
Nothing. I was just thinking that these last 2 years or however long this has been already has just really taken such a toll
On the human race, yeah.
everybody. On everybody. People came out. You're either kinder or you're nastier. And if you're kinder, it's because you learned a lesson and you're watching out. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. There's just no concept of time. Do you have any concept of time?
None. That's
Not
making me think
anymore.
we're all in a simulation.
Not
And they
anymore.
it's like past the kill screen.
Yeah.
They didn't write this many
Because now we're
boards.
saying it's officially 2 years ago
I think it's 3.
that this nonsense
3
started.
2.
2 years.
2 years ago.
2019.
2 full years. No. 2020. March
2019 was the
world-
last day of the
started.
started 2019.
I'm not saying that.
But
I'm not talking about that.
the
world
quarantining,
shut down March 12th, 2020.
No, March 12, 2019. I have the T-shirt. Wait a sec.
It was not March 12th,
No, it wasn't.
2019.
It wasn't 2019.
No,
It was definitely
2019
2020.
It was 2020.
Wait a
December
second.
of
Now I'm gonna have to look.
2019, we were like,
I'm telling you, it was March 12th.
I was working on
2020
something and we had masks,
when
and I
everybody
was like,
had to leave because by the 13th, if they didn't go back to the States, Trump shut the borders. I
The
know. 'cause I
Garden's
had a
last
group.
show was 2019. I gotta take. Where is it? I gotta find my.
Yeah, but it was at
T-shirt.
the
When
end
did
of
the US shut the
2019.
borders? It was
No,
March
it was
13th.
March.
March 13th, 2020.
is not.
March.
Mm-mm.
Wait a
I
second.
assure you, I know this date.
I have the T-shirt. I know. I bought the T-shirt. It was the
Trust
last.
you might
us,
have
you're
forgotten.
100%
Yeah.
wrong.
Easy.
No, literally, it's on a fucking calendar. Everybody knows the pandemic started in 2020. It's called COVID-19. It was discovered in like November or
March,
October,
Exactly.
Maybe.
It's called, yes.
and
that is
probably
true.
earlier than that.
Probably earlier than that.
Which I think October was like Australian fires. Like that's what I was crying about then.
Yes, I believe that's true. But yes, it definitely came out in 2019. The COVID thing, not the lockdowns. The lockdowns started. The U.S. borders closed on March 13th, 2020. All the groups had to be back, and that
And I
was the
had
day
like
the airport exploded.
I had a job that was starting on like the 12th or 11th. I went in and then they just told us to leave. Like we were never supposed to be there. They gaslit us. Like we were never supposed to have shown up. It's like, motherfucker, I spoke to a human being last night.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
fuck
that was
with me.
last night. What happened with me is I had a group and I got called that morning. We had to go on a one-day cruise, which means we have to leave like 7 o'clock from the hotel. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and I get a phone call and it's like, what's going on? And it's like, oh, Trump just closed the borders and everybody's got to get back. You've got to get the group to the airport. We're going to let you know what's going to happen in emergency services and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So we had to get, I don't know how many hundreds of people. I mean, I had a group of, I don't know how many, back to the States. And we're talking about thousands of people had to go back to the States on that day, the 12th or the 13th. If you weren't back, you weren't getting in. And remember the airports were packed in the States then? This I remember well. And they had put them all together. So people were just congested and on top of each other trying to get out.
And I
Trying to get in, I should say.
I flew from Portland to Newark on like April 2nd, 2020. And it was the most surreal flight I've ever been on, probably will ever be on, because empty. It was like in those apocalyptic movies where there's like, you know, they show Times Square and there's like 2 people. It was like that. Like nobody. There were more staff on the plane than there were passengers. Like it was
And that went
unreal.
on for a while. That went on for a while. Anybody that traveled during that time was like, oh my God, these planes are empty. Best time to travel.
All right, you're all right.
It was nice.
You all win. It was March 10th, 2020.
Nobody was
We
questioning
know.
it.
But
Not a
the
single
lockdown-
person.
Shut up.
here.
I have the t-shirt. I just read the wrong year. But
The
I have
t-shirt-
t-shirt.
the t-shirt was
cutoff-
wrong.
The cutoff to get back to the States when
No,
they
the
were shutting
t-shirt
the borders
is in the laundry.
was the 13th.
The last large-scale concert to take place before the pandemic started for the came when the Allman Brothers Band teamed up at Madison Square on March 10th, 2020. That was the last concert.
That's
when
that
they
was the
closed.
Allman Brothers Band.
But how do
Okay.
I know? Because
The
the
U.S.
Denver-
when did the U.S.
they
borders?
closed the garden after that date. That's the only
Okay, well,
reason
the
I know
world
that.
shut down shortly after that because
Yeah.
on March 13th, I'm telling you again, that was the
That's
day
funny.
that Trump said, if you're not back, you're not getting in.
That's when they also closed
all
New
U.S.
York.
citizens were recalled to be back by March 13th. My people left on the 12th.
And
This
that was
I
somehow
remember well.
uplifting animal news.
And you can get a job for $60,000 smelling dog poop, but I don't understand.
Wait a
that.
second, wait a minute. When is Trixie's birthday?
That's right. It's Tattletales. But wait, what about how many hundreds of thousands of dollars to smell
Oh,
poop?
it's 6,000. 6,000.
I want
to
that
smell.
job. I don't want the job. It is Trixie's birthday this month. She's turning 13 on. So when I did the math, her birthday was like an ex-boyfriend's birthday. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So then I just gave her my reverse birthday. So she is 3/7.
Okay,
9.
but she really
That's great.
is March what?
Like, I don't know. Like maybe the 12th. I don't know. Just
Okay, so the day the world
Maybe.
shut down.
no, not my
Uh,
It shut down for her
Nice.
because she's perfect.
May's birthday is tomorrow. She's turning 4.
Aw.
Oh, she's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday.
Today was 3-3.
Happy birthday, Trixie.
3/4.
Yeah, 3/4, 2018.
Yeah. Aw.
Hey, big boy, is she throwing you out of there?
Trixie made a poop the other day and it came out and it may have been this morning, and it looked very like swirly, like food photography. You know what I mean? Like when they do food photography to make like a soft swirl of ice cream look like really perfect. It looked exactly like Wendy's, specifically Wendy's, like a cup. Okay. So I'm looking at
Like
this
in the bag.
Did
Yeah.
they pay you to
like
smell
the
it?
poop emoji.
It
Yeah,
was
like the
it
poop
was
emoji.
actually
Exactly.
it was rounder and more like ice cream than the poop emoji. Yeah, it was like so like a little biscuit. And I picked up this biscuit and then I noticed that there may have been like guitar or fishing line, like guitar wire or fishing line.
God, she's
In
telling
it,
me the story again.
Yeah, so I called my mother to describe my dog's poop to her, and she's like, "Why are you calling me to tell me this? Why?" But yeah, because it was nuts. I then am like in public trying to see, did I just fucking hallucinate this fishing wire? Like, because I couldn't find it, and I'm not like, you know, it was poop, and I didn't want to inspect it. But then some guy watches me. He walks past me as I'm like trying to look at the poop, and it's like, how do you explain? So then I have to call my mom and be like, well, I just it's why I'm picking through her poop, everyone. I just needed people to know. I don't
Everybody
normally
who
look.
had a pet understood why you were looking at the poop. Like if somebody had with a dog, if you see somebody whose dog just pooped and they're looking at the poop, they're like, I mean, and my reaction is to be like, oh, I hope their dog's okay. Like, why are they looking at the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody thought you were being anything more than a concerned pet parent.
Do you know what I did when I was a kid?
My dog's
Yeah,
the only
you
one that
guys-
thinks I'm a poop creep. She's like, pay me, I poop.
You're gonna love this story, Kathryn. I don't know if you ever heard it, but when I was little, there was a wedding we used to live in Turkey, and we were on the island, and because we used to go to this island in the summertime, and we had the seamstress at the house, because back then you couldn't go to the store and buy clothes. You would have them made. So we had the seamstress at the house. So the seamstress is there and she's sewing, and we've just gone to a wedding, and they give you these candies at the weddings in Greece. They put them in a dish or something. They give you these candies.
Jordan.
So what? Yeah.
Jordan.
Okay. So I went into a corner or whatever I did, and I kind of pooed on the dish. Perfect poo, like Trixie's. And I go to the lady and I go to give it to her, and I say, whatever, and she goes to touch it and she picks it up. So yes, you should ask Nita the story. Apparently it's very, very popular story. I fed the seamstress poo.
Wait, why?
Because I have ADD.
No.
But
were you on synthetic weed? Like, why?
You tripping? I don't understand.
Why?
I was like 4.
But did she
Yeah,
do
but-
something to you that you were getting revenge?
Vindictive child.
I probably just, that might be interesting. I cannot tell you what inspired me to do things that I did when I was little.
Why did you put it on the plate?
Because it was the candy plate of the wedding we had just gone to.
I understand that it was the candy plate, but why did you put the poop on?
I understand what it was. Why'd you shit on it?
I don't know. I cannot as an adult answer that question. And when I used to hear the story when I was younger, I was like, I did that? I really did that? So I can't answer any of these questions. All I can tell you is I know I did that because there were witnesses and they've told me for years.
What if you didn't really do it?
Oh, no, I definitely did it.
It was
No,
someone else.
No. All their stories are exactly alike.
Sounds like a conspiracy.
But I do remember the jumping out the window one.
Oh my God. So
I used to have a thing with poo, I think.
What the fuck?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know anymore. Blah, 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 blah.
Now, were the candies in the dish or not at the time? Did you eat the candies before you shat? Were the candies in the
clearly.
food? You creative.
No. Dish was empty, is my understanding. Because again, this is a story relayed to me, not one I remember.
How did you get it to swirl?
I remember the jumping out the window.
Position this?
And that's what Nita keeps saying. And it was a perfect piece of chocolate.
Oh my God.
And I keep thinking, and it didn't smell.
Oh God.
Anyway, whatever.
So
I was
how
an
old were
adventurous
you?
child.
Was it a
like,
Hershey
don't
I
accept
had
food
to
from
be. I was
children.
less than 5.
No.
I was less than 5.
No. Absolutely
Don't
never
accept
accept
food
food
from
from children.
I
No.
was less than
It's
5.
covered in spit. At
What?
best. All food children give you, at best, is covered in
Like,
spit.
Never,
Unless
even
you
if they're
make it
giving
with
to you
them.
to eat, you just say like, "Oh,
that's so
so
nice.
good."
No,
Thank
unless
you.
you
And then you
make it
throw it
with
away.
them.
Throw it the fuck away.
Wash your hands.
No, unless
twice.
you make it with them.
No.
No,
No.
no.
Don't.
Yes,
No.
I used
The
to make.
second they
Kitchen.
pick it up and
It's filth. Like, I might as well let my dog cook with her fucking
You let-
street paws.
Good.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Like, children should
Yeah,
not be
crazy.
allowed in supermarkets if dogs are not allowed in supermarkets because they're worse. They can reach things. My dog can't reach things.
They only got yelled at once.
Really,
I read this-
Kathryn? Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Children
she's
should
crazy.
She's
not be
less
allowed
likely
in
to take a
supermarkets.
my
dump
dog can
on the
reach
floor.
things.
So let
I
me
know.
ask you something. What's each mother supposed to do? Tie their child out outside on a
Outside,
leash?
like with the dog.
Yes.
Yeah. On the
Ooh,
Well, they
bicycle
have these
rack with the
little
dog.
pods for dogs now that are air conditioned outside.
I'm
of
not getting
stores.
involved
They could
in
do
this
that
one.
for children.
Not
Some
And
of
you
the-
can put children in those.
Some of the bigger supermarkets by me, or and just in the States in general, we
They have
have these
child
like
pods?
kid zones. No, it's like kid zone, and you like leave your kid there, And it like plays with the other children, and you shop, and then you pay for your stuff, and then on the way out, you stop back at the kid zone and you get your kid out of it. You know,
That sounds
it's
so
like coat
safe.
check, but with
That doesn't
children.
sound
That sounds so somebody's there babysitting these kids?
Yeah, it's
No.
not always open. You have to go to it when it's open, and there's
No, I'm
like
saying
staff.
you're just dropping your kid off at this thing and
Are they
somebody's
Yeah,
not
well,
there.
there's
out?
staff
Like,
there.
is there no, but like
Oh,
you
there's
check the
staff there.
child in and check the child out?
Yeah, you check the child in, you check the child out, like a
Okay,
coach
so
check
if-
with kids.
That's
okay,
fine.
so
And it
if you're
goes in,
coat
it's
checking
like a
your
little
child, that's
playground.
fine.
Yeah.
You're coat checking the child.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
that's
should have
fine.
more child coat checks, child
Yeah.
checks.
At the movie theaters, especially.
Yeah.
They
I
put
would
the
like-
child on a coat hanger.
You know what I found? You know, as you know, we're Greek, so we used to go to churches, and the churches in Greece are Greek Orthodox churches. So when my nephew, niece, whatever, was getting whatever they do, something, Eucharist, that's it, or First Communion, or whatever the hell it is that they do, where they dress like a little bridesmaids.
So creepy.
Whatever, like a communion thing or
Yeah,
whatever,
it's
whatever.
creepy.
Irrelevant,
Your
it's
first
relevant.
Holy Communion, and yes, you
Our
all dress like little
confirmation?
brides and grooms because you're
Okay.
going to get married
Here's
to
the thing.
Jesus.
This is the first time we go into with my dad. And we're in it. It's a Catholic church because my nephew and my niece are both Catholic. They're raised Catholic, and there's a room, and it's called the Cry Room. And we're like, "What's that?" That's a room. You all probably know it. We never knew that existed. If we had those here in Greece, cry rooms or Greek churches, there's a lot more people that would go to church.
Yeah, but then they'd all be in the cry room, and then they'd have to just rebuild the
absolutely.
churches.
I know
so
that.
it's all
I know that
cry
my
room.
dad and I spent the time in the cry room along with Michael and his babies because there were babies in there. Obviously, people had their babies in there, so they wouldn't, make noise. But we liked it.
Wait, you go to the cry room to get away from the priest and not listen to the sermon? Is that it?
Okay.
So if the kid is crying, you go to the cry room.
To be able to talk, to be able to whatever.
Yeah,
To not,
I think people also breastfeed there sometimes.
My dad and I don't do well in church.
My
That
favorite
was when my
was
grandfather said that religion was the biggest mafia in the world, and that's when I was like, all right, this is
Well, it
cool. Like
is.
my family, like we're all kind of the same, and it was
I
funny to hear
picture
him
it-
say
I
that.
do it.
I picture it more as a multinational corporation than a mafia.
Absolutely.
Everybody
Absolutely.
Jenny-
But same-
Very
Genuflect.
organized.
Genuflect.
Mafia has
Genu-
respect.
I don't know what you're doing, Elaine. Are you trying to resuscitate Tinkerbell?
Genuflect. Whenever they
What is
ring
that?
the bell in church, my brother, well, I did not whenever. Once they ring the bell in church, I guess to make you kneel. Not really sure. I forget the reason.
Oh,
But
they
they
tell
ring the
you
bell.
when to do it?
They do this.
I like the Catholics. They do that. We don't do
They-
that.
But
No,
my
in
brother
Greece, we don't know
screamed.
what to do. We don't
My
know what to
bro-
do. We don't
my
know when
brother
you stand,
screamed-
when you
my
sit,
brother-
when you this, when you that.
My brother
Just
screamed at the
copy
top.
everybody else.
Well, that's what we do. But how do we know
I
we're
give
doing
up.
it right? Just because they're all doing it?
Anyway,
That's
he
like follow the
screamed
leader.
There's
out,
people
"It's
sitting
the
up
ice
front.
cream man." It was funny if I had done it
No,
on
funny.
time.
But usually in Greek churches, you just stand for hours.
And you get to wear
I
those
was in a
cute
wedding
things around
once,
your head.
and I threw my bouquet on the ground so I could sit. I was like, fuck this wedding. And I was like, I just got to pick up this bouquet. I'm just going to sit for a minute while I do. It was the worst.
Hours.
They're still married
Hours.
though, so that's good.
It was the worst. Do you know what wedding she's talking about? My cousin got married, and the king of Greece, no kidding, the king of Greece was the best man.
And I think he played drums, like for fun, right? Didn't I play drums with him? Like, didn't he show me drums?
That I don't know. I don't
remember
think
playing
so.
drums. Maybe it wasn't him, but somebody did.
Wow.
Maybe it wasn't him. But literally the king of Greece and his wife, the queen, who's also the sister of the queen of Denmark.
Holy cow.
Wow.
No, seriously. She's got, king of Greece. And that's
Still
the way
could've been
she's talking
shorter.
about.
But it was long. I was a child. It
Of
hurt my
course
body.
it is.
I wasn't
And it was a full ceremony because
but we
he
were
was
in
there.
literally royal dresses, like a beautiful dress.
But actually, the dress that she had was from the same place that made Diana's dress.
Really just want to see pictures.
The
It's so
dress is the
poofy.
same
It's
dress
so
as Diana's
poofy.
dress.
I really want to see pictures of how poofy and majestic it
I love
was.
poofy dresses.
It is.
They're
It's
coming.
short though.
Let me go get them for you.
Oh my God, really? You have them available? Because anytime I ask for any photograph of anything, she's just like, oh, I'll get it one day. Okay. One day. All right. But I don't know. I guess did we do tattletales? Did everybody talk about their animals while we're waiting for my mom to return with this dress?
I want to hear about Mitzi.
Yeah.
Oh, she's doing well. She's I don't know. Just yeah, things are
What do
pretty
you want to
normal.
see first?
Oh my God.
You want to see Kathryn in the poofy dress, or you want to see the king? Kathryn in the poofy dress.
Definitely.
More important than the king.
Okay,
Wait, now it's reflecting. You can't.
that's Kathryn.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
I
you
don't know how
can't
to
see
get
it.
the
You're
reflection
reflecting.
on.
Angle it?
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Okay, so there's Kathryn.
Oh,
There's a little kid we call Little Lord Fauntleroy, but he was, I don't know what.
Look at that.
That's
Look
so
at that
cute.
adorable
twist.
little kid.
Look at that.
I don't know who
Look
the
at that.
girl in the middle is, but you see the two girls over there, those sisters? They're like big time shipping magnets. Or their fathers. Their father.
I like
Anyway.
your face. I like that look you
Okay,
got.
but you see the poofy dress? Can you see it? You can't even see it. It's a
No, we
it's
can
very
see it.
similar to Diana's.
I like the sarcastic
Mhm.
look.
And she still has that dress.
You're saying I hate all these other children.
Okay. And this
I didn't
is
hate
and
the
this is my
children.
cousin.
I know you did.
Okay.
We ate chocolates
See my
together.
cousin, you see her dress? You see how it's similar kind of to Diana's? Same thing. But that's the king of Greece and that's the queen.
So are you guys related to Greek royalty?
Well, not really, but her husband, he was in the, he's a horse, an equestrian. And he was in the Olympic team that when the king of Greece was in the Olympics and won the gold for sailing, Nikki was in the equestrian team. So I think that's how they met each other. They knew each other before that or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So he's very good friends with him. And my cousin, or whatever, Kathryn's cousin, Irini, he's her godfather,
Oh.
the king, because whoever marries you has to also baptize your first child. So he's her godfather. And to add to that, you know who else's godfather he is? Prince William. Because he is the nephew of Prince Philip.
So you're like Kevin Bacon, only to the king of Greece.
Well, everybody is related. Everybody is related to the Habsburgs, or basically to Victoria and or the Danish crown.
Greece.
Because every king of Greece and Denmark, Greece and Denmark, Greece and Denmark.
Greece and Denmark, Greece and
Because
Denmark.
we were given royalties. We didn't. I mean, Greece doesn't have royalty. We were given royalties. They were the Habsburgs, so that's how they did that. Anyway, whatever. They're all tall. They're no tall Greeks.
Habsburg story is interesting.
Nothing was solved.
That's our royalty. That's where it came from. It was given to us. We had to take it. They decided to give us a king. Oh yay. Anyway, they got rid of the king, but it's a shame because, like I said, he's friends with the cousin.
Leadership back then, like they really would just like, here's your king, guys, and then like what?
So it'd be nice if he was back. Anyway, he's not well now, you know, but he was really nice and very tall. But so's his wife, who's Danish, very tall. Lovely.
Was he elected? I'm sorry, king?
He's a king. He was born
Okay.
into it.
So like he was in the Olympics, and then did he become king immediately after, or was it like?
No, when his father died, he became king.
Oh, okay.
But I
So was
believe
he
at
a
the
prince in
time
the
at the time of the Olympics, I believe he was king.
Ooh.
Let me Google it.
You're not
Let me
Googling.
Google that.
You're
That's
not Googling.
interesting.
And he
I mean,
won
like,
the gold medal.
I've
I'm
never
gonna tell you that.
I've never heard of an Olympic athlete that was like king of the country. I mean, that's like, are you short on athletes?
Like, or any state leadership. Yeah.
So Greek.
It is very Greek,
Yes.
isn't it?
Like
Constantine.
Captain Kirk. It's like Captain Kirk. He goes down. even though he's
Constantine
not supposed
II
to.
of Greece is also a former competitive sailor and Olympian, winning a gold medal in the 1960 Rome Olympics. So he was king at that time, right?
Wow.
1960, he was king.
Did he just
Yeah.
want it? Like, was he just
No, he
like,
was
did he
crown
like
prince.
sa- like was
He
he
was
really
crown-
did he deserve to be on that sailing team, or did like the other guys kind of do all the sailing
You
stuff?
don't win
and
a
he-
gold medal in sailing if you can't
I'm-
do it.
I'm not saying he couldn't do it. I'm saying sailing is a very popular pastime for the wealthy, and like maybe it was already his hobby and he just kind of like wanted to go. I don't
We're in
know. I'm just
Greece.
questioning.
Had a lot
So you
more
think he just went
practice.
through the
I'm not
motions,
saying he
like,
was bad at
sailing
sailing. I'm
is
saying he was
fake
probably
it.
good at sailing, but was he good at sailing or was he Olympic good at sailing? You know what I mean? Like I'm
It's
just
a two-man team.
He had the practice.
You?
I'm just
Really?
here to ask the hard questions.
Sailing at the Olympics is a two-man team.
Oh, I thought it was a whole team.
You don't
Okay.
sailing at the Olympics is a two-man team. You don't
So
win
who was
gold.
that other guy?
No, they're a
Who?
team big sailboats too.
Not at the Olympics.
I think
Yeah.
a question I have is, should sailing, is it really a sport? You know, it's
Yes,
just like,
it
Here's
is.
how the Olympics go. There were
Yes, it
5
is.
Olympic sports.
What?
5.
Oh, originally you mean?
The pentathlon, yes. The discus, the javelin, the running, the wrestling, the whatever. Okay. There are 5 Olympic sports. It's called the pentathlon. Those sports, over the times when they became modernized, they added to them. For example, we had the sports for thousands of years. They stopped doing it. It took a rest for I don't know how many hundreds of years after that. And then in 1896, this guy, French Count Coubertin, decided to reinvent the Olympics. So when he reinvented the Olympics, he added a sport, or he added an event, and that's the marathon. The marathon was not an original Olympic sport, but it's the one
Wow.
that always ends the Olympics.
that's
So
surprising. 'Cause,
now-
like the marathon seems like such a traditional. It just sounds like an original.
It is, but it's not. The
Wow.
Olympics was a pentathlon,
Yeah.
and everything had to be done in the nude. And
What?
there had to be
Yo,
done
bring
in the
that
nude.
back.
That was
Bring
What?
it back.
Yeah, we should bring that back.
Especially if it
Okay,
was the
no.
Olympics.
And they also had something called the pancration, which was actually ultimate fighting back then. And the only thing that wasn't allowed is like eye gouging or something.
Holy
But you to
cow.
kick dicks.
And they had to do it naked with olive oil on them.
No, no.
That's how they had to do wrestling.
Ooh, baby.
So when
With
they were
olive oil
standing
on
on
them.
pedestals with like gold, silver, and bronze, they were nude?
No. Do you know what the Olympic medal was?
A cock ring?
An olive wreath. An olive wreath.
I was right.
I like cock ring better, but okay.
I was
And an olive
completely
wreath.
wrong.
And when we go to the stadium over there, we actually sometimes cut a whole branch and then make it a crown, a thorn of whatever, because they run the
Laurel.
Olympics. The laurel is in Delphi.
Oh, never mind then.
The olive is in Olympia. Because in Delphi, they used to have something called the Delphian Games, the Delphi League, and they would give them laurel leaves. So that whole expression, you fall on your laurels or something, comes from that. Elaine, there you go, with the expressions. But what was I saying?
Yeah, right.
Resting on your laurels.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
that was Delphi. Yes.
So
yes,
like
yes.
how
But
Right. Just so you know, sailing came in 1900.
how long did the Olympics go with completely nude competition? Like when did that end?
the ancient Olympics,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what year did they
Yeah,
stop doing
yeah.
it like that?
after they started practicing pagans, 400 years. I don't know.
And they
Hold
put it
on.
on TV.
Wait, the pagans were like put on pants?
The Olympics was the Olympics had at Olympia, Hera, Zeus's wife, would light the fire. And Zeus, there was a temple of Zeus, there was a statue of Zeus over there in gold. It was huge. And it's one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The temple of Zeus at Olympia, no, the statue of Zeus at Olympia.
That's
So
did
that statue's
anyone tell the
disappeared.
did anyone tell the Greeks that the Garden of Eden ended?
See, that's the Bible. And I'm trying to explain to you. Before all that, they were pagans. You know, Zeus, Apollo, Aphrodite. The Persians worshipped pagan gods. The Greeks worshiped pagan gods. The Egyptians worshiped pagan gods.
And this day in history, nothing was solved.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, so it's because of the pagans that people started wearing clothes.
No, it's when the pagans were replaced by the
ancient Greeks definitely had clothes.
They're
They
not
had like
naked.
a big sweatery thing.
They're not naked. They're sky clad. Talk to
No, but they
anything.
were definitely naked when they did the Olympics. And one of the reasons that they were naked was because you weren't allowed to be a woman and compete. One of the reasons. Because women weren't allowed to even watch the Olympics. They were not even allowed into the stadium. Only men.
Sky clad, I tell you.
Ancient Greek men
they
like
would
to
actually,
do a lot of
they would
things by
actually
themselves.
Because it took months to get there. It took months to get there. And they used to call like a world peace thing while those events were happening. And they would put statues, but it's statues of people who tried to cheat also were there. Like there's the bad ones and the good ones. So the statues are they have those two. Like the ones that tried to cheat.
Of the cheaters, kind of like a shoplifter Polaroid, but a statue?
Sort of. Yeah.
Don't let this guy in.
Was it actually of them, or was it like, don't do this? Here's a statue depicting the thing you shouldn't do.
Yeah, a guy with the chicken in his hands.
There's a wall of shame, and then there's the fame thing going in. And
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lunar Olympics.
I think the names got added or something. But you see, the names get added with the places that they're from and their father's name. So how you know who they are. You know, Hercules, son of Zeus, from Thebes. Got it?
No.
Just an ancient spreadsheet.
Thank you.
I love it. Fucking love it. Love that they're literal tablets.
Yeah. So it was really for the glory.
That's how like writing was invented, was basically just to keep records of stuff.
Exactly.
Like stuff.
You know that's what the difference. You know that what the difference between history and prehistoric is?
The words.
Writing.
Wow.
Because literally the word history is historia, the story.
Well, that's what Indians, a lot of their traditions.
Natives or India?
What? Like Native
India?
Americans. Native Americans. Like a lot of, it was all like storytelling, you know, and it was all like passed down from generation to generation. And
Exactly.
like a lot in like dancing and like a lot of stuff around the campfire.
Yep. Well, really, if you look at old civilizations, it was tribes after tribes after tribes, and it was settlements and settlements and settlements. And then it wasn't until it was settlements. Everything was settlements, and the settlements happened in places where you had water or you had some kind of resource to be able to do whatever you could live on. Whether it was in North America, or whether it was in Egypt, or whether it was in Greece, that's what it was. It was survival based on the land and what it gave you.
I think that the dumbest Olympic event has to be curling. That just is so.
Power
that's
sweeping.
How we started.
My mother loves curling. My mother used to love curling. I don't know why.
But it really is
I
one
agree
of
with
those.
Matt on the curling. It's like
I do too. I think it's funny, but don't tell that to the Canadians.
I mean, like, will they please make a Ben Stiller movie about curling?
I want a Ben Stiller movie about the invention of curling, and I want strict attention paid to how much they were drinking when they invented it.
Oh, please, the Canadians. Who invented that? Was it Canadians? Because they played it.
I think so.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But so that's what happens. So every Olympics, the host country gets to add an event.
They should add air hockey. Wait, every year they add one, or
I didn't say every
like
year. I
just
said
for that
every
year?
Olympic. Every Olympics.
Right. So every Olympic they add like a thing.
Another sport.
They take out some old ones sometimes too.
Yeah, they tried to take something out that was one of the original 5. I don't know if it was wrestling or some kind of lifting or something. It's like, oh, I don't think so. Greco-Roman wrestling. It's like, what are you kidding me? It was one of the original 5.
Yeah.
You can't take out one of the original 5. I mean, things like archery, that was added afterwards. They didn't have archery, they didn't have none of that shit.
Yep.
What if they changed it into like contemporary wrestling?
But they can add that as an event. It still is. There are things that are, I don't know, sacred. I don't know what to say.
Right.
I mean, it goes
they
so
still
far
do
back.
wrestling too. I don't know why they take it out.
It's not that I like it or like I whatever. It's just that I respect the fact that it's one of the 5 events, and for me, don't take out the core of what built it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the core of what built it. You don't like to watch it, okay? Don't whatever. But I also don't like the coverage that I see in the States. It's like, you people, I don't understand any of that. I mean, I remember watching when I was little. I remember watching it when I was little, and I was watching when ABC had the sports, and it was actually, they showed you events and they showed you people, doing things, and the Olympics was interesting. Well, now they seem to show you, especially in the States, okay, this is the story of, I don't know, John Doe, and they tell you the whole thing, and he's going to go for the gold in this event, and if he doesn't win the gold in this event, you don't get to watch the others in that event. Because they're only showing you a few people, a couple of highlights.
Wow.
They're not showing you the events. Have you watched the Olympics?
No, they don't show you everybody. They only show you, specific
Over the years, that's what they did. They put less on sports and more on the stories that the producers are putting together. And it's like, okay, it's not just Americans in the Olympics. Winter Olympics, are you ignoring certain countries that are winter countries, like Norway that swept? Okay, and even in the Summer Olympics, they're only, and the other thing that's really bad is they're only caring about the going for gold, because the accomplishment to get there, I mean, squat.
Did Papu almost go to the Olympics or something like that? Is there a story of Papu and the Olympics? What is it?
There absolutely is. My father was a runner. He was a marathon runner and a big time runner, and also played incredible soccer, apparently. And he broke records in Turkey at the time. But because he was Greek, he could not compete for Turkey. That's the answer.
Wow.
Is my understanding anyway. Let me clarify that.
That's too bad.
Yep. But he had lots of awards and medals and stuff. But he couldn't compete. But he would have been an Olympian if he was allowed. But because he was Greek, there was no way. Wasn't gonna happen.
Because of just the racism stuff, like the weird shit, the tension? Or was it just...
Yes, it was all religion. This area of the world, all about religion. This area of the world has been fighting for religion or about religion or religious wars and whatever, since what? Before Jesus. We clear?
I mean, agree to disagree at some point.
You had the Muslims and I'm sorry, Isaac and Ishmael. Let's start with that. If you don't know history, don't do it.
Don't go down Abraham.
No, I don't.
Don't go down
the sons of Abraham.
Don't go down this path.
Like you guys say Abraham, I literally picture like a mouse from Abraham and Strauss. So I got nothing. I know none of this stuff.
Yeah. But these are religions that go back centuries, well before Catholicism, when paganism was going on.
Thousands of years, millennia.
Millennia, thousands of years ago.
I'm going with that was Ask Mom, and now it's time for C4.
Yeah.
I was gonna go for something a little bit lighter this week and talk about the Anna Delvey story. It made that big splash. So basically, and I remember when this happened. This happened a few years back. this girl got convicted. I heard about it. You know, I was living in Portland at the time. And she got convicted in New York. She'd like defrauded all these rich people out of all this money. And I was like, I hope you had enough fun to make up for all the jail time you're gonna do now, girl.
You know she did.
I hope so. I hope it was worth it. Because yeah, I mean, it is hard to feel bad for somebody when they just steal from rich people, because it's like, oh, go cry into your money that you got back from insurance, you know. And so yeah, this girl, she.
But wait, is that the moral of the story?
No, it's not the moral of the story. Like you shouldn't. I'm just saying it's hard to feel bad for them. Like I'm sure it was very stressful, you know. Whatever. But so yeah, she basically pretended to be this, you know, fancy German heiress that was going to get this like, you know, huge trust, and she wanted to start this private VIP like art club in New York City, and she was gonna. So like I'm watching this show and I'm like picking, like I studied art history, so I know like when she's, you know, in the gallery talking about the Cindy Sherman, I'm like, yes, I know all about Cindy Sherman. And she's going to like talk with this architect, and the architect's name is Gabriel Calatrava, and I'm like, Santiago Calatrava's son? Like, yeah, exactly. You know Calatrava, right? Like
he designed all the Olympic stadiums here. Yeah,
he designed the new like path thing, World Trade Center subway thing.
The Oculus.
Yeah, that thing. I think he has something in Chicago, Matt.
Oh, wow. Wait, it has to be like this. Everything is arching.
Yeah, everything is like swooping and arching, and a lot of his designs incorporate movement.
Did he do Australia?
In Millennium Park.
Spanish.
No. In Millennium Park.
No, he did not do it. He did not do Australia.
Yeah. He designed a performance place where bands can play and performances in Millennium Park in Chicago. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like so she was like working with these real people, and she was pretty close to like getting real, you know, money. Dangerously close, yes, as the show says. So, and I wanted also to talk about the show, and specifically Kathryn's favorite or least favorite part of the show. I'm not sure how she feels about it.
Which part?
Kathryn?
Chill out. Stop so dramatic.
What?
We will pump you up.
So dramatic. You're telling me
about the accent that the actress did.
What accent is it? Like Hans and Franz?
No.
It's a little bit of Hans and Franz. It's just a sprinkle of Shrek, you know.
Oh no.
Maybe
Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, so it's like whatchamacallit? It's like Lady Gaga with the Italian?
Yeah, but maybe worse.
Maybe worse. Yeah, maybe worse.
Like there are moments where you're like, ugh. And the point of that is that Anna Delvey has like a fake accent, so she nailed it. No, she didn't, because if you ever listen to Anna Delvey talk.
Yeah, no, she didn't. She wasn't doing a fake accent. This isn't the same as the woman in California who was pretending to be an Irish princess and pretending to do an Irish accent. And people are like, what part of Ireland did you say you were from?
Oh my God. What?
Like, that was a different story.
Why would you put on an accent?
So
I mean, I do whenever
she's
I'm
doing
drinking,
a real accent,
just so that I don't slur if I get pulled over, you know.
Yes, but you can't do it forever.
I'll definitely assume you're sober when you're slurring in a fake accent.
What?
Yes, I remember my friend Sharon.
Why don't you believe me? I'm a prince from Germany. I don't understand why people don't believe me. I am from Germany.
I remember my friend Sharon.
Please in Christ, I'm from Germany. I'm trying to tell people that, but they don't believe me.
How long did she go to England?
I had a friend Sharon. She was from Dallas, Texas. And she went to England and stayed there and lived there for a couple of years. Not a couple, she was there for a few years. Anyway, she comes back and all of a sudden, very, very, you know, English accent, and she's speaking very British. You know, I can't do this, I want some Yorkshire pudding and all of this kind of stuff that she was saying, just that kind of thing. So you say, okay, Sharon, so where are you from? Dallas. She couldn't hide that. It was quite funny, actually. So she'd come right out and go, Dallas. That slur would come right to her. So, yeah, she was funny. But she lived in England for a few years. Very funny lady. Funny, funny lady.
I love Sharon's stories.
Sharon's stories are good. I'll give you a good one. She liked to be naked a lot.
She was
By the
Olympian.
way, since that was Ask Mom, I had some things from this very normal sized Post-it.
Yes, dear.
The
Let's do
Aaron
it.
Winkler grounded story.
The what?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when you grounded me and you were like, you are not allowed to leave this house and no one is allowed in?
I did that?
One time, yeah. And then I think you realized that I would just find legal loopholes and everything. And you just stopped trying to discipline me. I don't know. But
No,
like
it
one
didn't
time,
matter. You were hopeless. There was nothing we could do to you.
yeah. So one time you said, you're not allowed out of this house and no one is allowed in. And I was like, okay. And then you came home and I was at the kitchen door with Aaron. He was
Who's
outside.
Aaron?
I was inside. The neighbor, Mrs. Winkler's.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
different.
Do you remember that?
I don't, but it's possible that recall is coming as you're saying it. I remember Aaron.
Yeah.
Now that you were clear as to who he was, the blonde one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it was funny because I was, as you could see, grounded. I wasn't allowed out. Nobody was allowed in. And we hung out at the doorway, kind of like, vampires and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then you said something like, I don't know. I think you were just so impressed by the fact that I found this loophole that you let me hang out with him. You were like, just go. I give up.
Yeah, it could very well be the I give up.
Yeah,
Or
you're
I was impressed. It could have really been I was impressed with how you did it because you listened.
Yeah,
the thing
you
that
were.
impressed me the most, because remember, I'm the child that put shit on a plate and jumped out a window. Okay? Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. So here was the part that and when I fell out that window and I broke an arm, for me to go swimming, they had to put my arm in plastic like this so I could go in the water because I wasn't not going in the water. Cast or no cast. You understand? I don't think you understand. So they tied it up here. They said, okay, you can go in now.
That seems like you were a very special child if that's where they put it.
ADHD undiagnosed, okay?
We got a difficult one here.
I mean, my friend's brother broke his arm in the summer and they put his arm in a garbage bag.
To signal
so
the
that
water.
he could, but it wasn't up here.
No, they had to tie it up here. Oh, because by the way, I didn't really know how to swim, so I just go in until I almost went to drown, and they had to grab me out this way. That's another story. But in this story, I'm relating it to Kathryn. So I was that child, and yet we were in Mykonos one year, and I said to Kathryn, Kathryn, you got to watch out with the tides over here. So if the water goes to your knees, you have to pull back. You can't go in the water any further because the tide might pull you out. So the water comes in, it goes a little bit above her knees, and Kathryn moves back. I'm like, holy shit. Because I would have never listened to that. I would have tested it and gone further. Or better yet, here was another thing I had trouble with. Fire. You know that expression? To not put your hands in fire or burn twice or whatever it is? Okay. My mother always tells a story of how with my brother and with Kathryn, for example, she'd say, here, hot, don't go near it. And they'd go, oh, hot, don't go near it, right? Would that be what you all did when you were little? Hot, don't go near it. Plugs, don't stick your fingers in it. That kind of stuff. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Is that possible that your parents did that and you actually didn't touch the flame?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not only did I touch the flame, I got burnt. And then just so we're clear, after the blisters healed and all of this, I did it again.
Why?
So have you
That
been
was exactly
clinically
why, 'cause
diagnosed
I
with
wanted to find
oppositional
out
defiance
why.
disorder?
No. It wasn't opposition. It was
I think
curiosity. But why does that burn? What is that about?
is it gonna
And
burn
I'm
me
going to say
again?
one more time. ADHD.
So
Other
I
story.
heard.
Oh, go on.
So I heard this story when I was a child, and then one day somebody was like, "Yeah, that's hot on the stove," and I was like, "What would my mom do?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so fucking dumb. Why would she do that? What is wrong with this woman?"
When the blisters healed, I did it again.
I never did it again.
I didn't say it was smart. I am not going for
We're doing
smart
it for science.
Wow.
There you go. Thank you.
The
Thank you,
saffron
Christina.
story.
Oh yeah,
But this is true.
The saffron story.
Christina wants to know
Saffron?
the saffron story, the Saffy story. I think this
Yes.
is the night I met
Saffy.
Steven.
Saffy darling.
Oh, that you didn't meet him that night.
Okay.
You had already known him.
Okay, so I already knew I didn't like him.
He was really funny.
Uh-huh.
This was the
well
night.
did
This
you
was
know
the
you
night.
didn't like it?
This was the night
Sure.
that actually I had never heard of this show, Absolutely Fabulous. Have you seen or heard Absolutely Okay, fabulous, fabulous show. So anyway, I had never heard about it at this point. This is 1995.
No, it's
and
not.
apparently it had been out. This was 1995.
Fuck up. I'm listening.
I don't
not in
know
this
if
story.
you were 2 or not
I wasn't born yet.
But I met Steven in 1995.
I think the show started in 92.
So we were very drunk, kind of like Eddie and Patsy. If you've seen the show, you understand the characters, right? So I'm Eddie, he's Patsy. You got that? And she's Saffy. So we go to the house because clearly I drive in this condition without any problem whatsoever, by the way. As strange as that may sound. And this is not, I'm advocating for it. We're live.
Yeah, we are.
11
Do
viewers.
not do this
It's
at
okay.
home.
I'm not advocating for it, but I'm just saying. So anyway, so we get back to the house and we get to the house and he's telling me the story of when Saffy locked out Eddie and Patsy. And I said, how? So we come out of the car. We're falling out of the car. We get to the house and Kathryn has all the doors locked and all the windows closed. And on a window, she's got this sign with a little Post-it, the size that you've got. And it says, fuck you, heifer.
God.
HEFFA? Like that?
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Yep. So I climbed the building to get
I
in the lift
Holy
and
shit.
through another window to get in there. Yes, apparently adrenaline can do that to you.
Oh my God. Yeah, she got in a little window that I didn't even think to close.
Wow.
It was fun.
They were laughing the whole time, which just made me madder because they weren't
Oh,
supposed to
it's so
enjoy this.
funny.
I was supposed
It was
to
so
like
because he had
ruin
just
their
told me
day.
the story and she did it. And we were like, oh, we were dying. We were dying. It was hysterical. See, she's laughing now.
Yeah, but I was mad at the time because I'm like, you're not supposed to be having fun.
Were you calling her Saffy?
Yes.
I was
Wait, were you?
at that point, yes. That's when I just heard the story. And he had just told me how Eddie and Patsy fell out of the car. They go to the house. Saffy's got them locked out. And we go to the house and she's got us locked out.
We
But
fall out of the car.
she didn't hear the
And she doesn't
story.
even know the story. She didn't even know this stuff. She didn't
She
even know
hasn't
this.
seen the show. So
This,
now
this
you're
had
just
really, this had happened.
so
This
you're
was an
laughing at
episode.
her and you're calling her a different name.
Yes.
This was an episode of Absolutely Fabulous, and I didn't know about it. She didn't know about it, and it happened for real. And then we saw the show.
Yes, and you did call me Saffron that night, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is
He
crazy.
called you
You're
Saffron
not
because I didn't know who
supposed to like
Saffron
this.
was.
And now you're calling me a different name.
Kathy,
This
sweetie,
isn't
sweetie
working.
dear, sweetie dear, sweetie dear. Oh, I gotta tell you something. The whole
Lovely,
sweetie
darling.
dear.
We're locked out.
No, sweetie, sweet. I love sweetie. Sweetie, 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 sweetie dear. Sweetie's good. That way you don't have to remember names, which is a good
Terrible.
thing. Which is a good thing because I'm really bad with them. But I got to tell you, it's really difficult now because now with all of this awareness that we have to do, especially in the job that I have, you know, they, them, she, who, whatever.
What is
That's
wrong
not-
with you?
I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I don't care what you say. I'm
Just don't
not
get it.
going to get it.
You make no sense.
All right.
It's like you were progressive at one point in time, and now you're becoming a dinosaur. Why are you doing this to yourself? You were so ahead of your
Okay.
time once. Why can't you do that now?
Okay. There might be other things that I'm ahead of my time with, but there are certain things that I'm just not going to get it. Okay.
You'll get it.
Anyway, the day the gaydar died is all I can tell you. So, but all of this stuff. But for me, it's not so difficult because I don't have to call them he, she, they, them, whom, whatever. I just go, sweetie, sweetie, dear. And everybody's a sweetie. Is that appropriate?
Probably not. I like to learn names. I try.
Well, you go for it.
And
You
pronouns,
can-
because it's important to people.
You can mix it
I
up,
have
you know,
to
maybe
learn
sometimes
42
call them
names.
sugar.
I have to learn 42 names. I've learned 42 names and they're here and gone within 9 days.
Hey there, dumpling.
There you go, sweetie.
Yeah, just walk around with a martini all the time and
That's
call
right,
everyone
sweetie. What's
Sweet,
that?
sweet, 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 darling. Darling, sweetie, sweetie, darling. Darling,
No,
sweetie.
sweetie, darling, sweetie, sweetie, sweetie.
No, sweetie, what do you do? Sweetie, no. Oh, shit, we're locked out. Oh, darling.
And that was C4, I think, somehow. And now it's time for on this. Oh, wait, actually, now it's time for.
Yeah, we've been skipping everything. I'm not
You
ready. Which one do you want me to
understand? I don't
play?
know what you're even going on about. We have been on this thing for hours because it's
Yeah, we're getting
4:18
off
in
now.
my morning.
We're doing one last thing and we're out.
Okay. Oh, settle this petty shit? This day in history. No petty shit?
I don't know.
I love the petty shit.
So, on this day in 2005, American adventurer Steve Fawcett became the first person to complete a solo, non-stop circumnavigation of the globe without refueling when he landed in Kansas after more than 67 hours in flight.
Oh, wow.
And nothing was solved.
Yep. And then he disappeared and nothing was solved.
He disappeared?
He died in the end, didn't he? Not that time, but another time.
Oh.
On
Didn't
this
he die?
history, nothing.
Why Kansas?
No, not then. That he did that thing then, but that's how he died.
Oh,
What was his name? Steve what?
Steve Fawcett.
Fawcett, that's it. Yep.
On this day in history, 2005, nothing was solved. It's interesting his name was Fawcett and he didn't have to refuel. I don't know why, but it is. But you want settled this petty shit? I don't know.
I got one.
What?
Yes. Hold on.
Oh. so before I start, I admit that it's petty, but I wanted to get your opinion. So you're at the supermarket and you're at the cashier and you're checking out your items and you're done. And the basket that you use to get your groceries, the cashier won't take it. Instead of taking it, the cashier says, "Oh, you put that back where you got it." So do you find that the cashier is annoying, or am I just being lazy? I kind of find that I'm used to like the cashier like taking the basket. And again, I know that it's petty, but I just wanted your 2 cents.
I have a question as to where you got the basket from, because I think New York has a completely different ecosystem with baskets.
I think so.
It's at the front of the cashier.
Yeah, where do the baskets come from?
On like kind of near the doorway.
Oh shit.
Oh,
that's
no,
weird.
no. That's what the
You have a
difference is.
poorly designed supermarket and no one's the asshole.
Yeah, normally what you do is you take the basket, you put your stuff on the belt, and then there's a pile of baskets, and you just dunk your basket into the pile of baskets.
But it's before the
Now,
cashier.
I have a question. Do you
It's
think
like
that
right
pile of
before the
baskets-
cashier.
Do you think that pile of baskets started because they were like, this is a logical place to put it? Or do you think some asshole's like, fuck that, I'm putting it here, and then every other asshole's like, yeah, me too?
I don't know.
And then they don't do it in Chicago because they're more polite.
No, I think it
No,
makes
'cause they-
it makes logistic sense to do
It's
that.
100% logistics. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
I'm pretty sure I remember doing that in Oregon too, and like I wasn't the only one doing it. Like everybody did it there.
We even do that here in Greece.
I mean, they did have baskets like at the front, but like
Yes.
and they have those here too. They have baskets in the front, but like you just put your basket like at the front of the line, basically.
Yeah.
And
The
like
cashiers don't take the baskets or
yeah,
the
you don't
carts.
hand it to the basket. You don't hand
Yeah,
it to
we've
the cashier.
Never have I handed a basket to a cashier because they
No.
want you to take the items out also. And
Yeah,
I've
the
never
items.
taken it and then put it somewhere. But again, the thing right there, right, the top of the line is where we put it. We just
Yeah.
like you
Like you don't
kinda
even
just
get the
put it
basket
there,
on the thing.
you get your
I mean,
stuff.
she might
and then
take
you
the
put it down.
she might take the stuff out of the basket to ring it, but when you're done, you put the basket there.
She doesn't want to fuck
No,
with the
that's-
basket. She wants you to unpack your basket.
But they take it
No,
out of the
there's
basket. They do
like-
that
Yeah, I
no
mean,
problem. They do that no problem.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Usually, sometimes there's a place to put the basket. Like if you're
Yes.
doing a self-checkout, you can just put the basket on the ground, or if you're, but at this store, there's no place to put the basket. It's just like a, I don't know. There's no place to put it.
Yeah, I'm going with that's a
I
no
would-
fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fault.
That's a no fault in any
Just put it on the
direction.
floor next time.
But if she
Yeah.
was nasty to you, that's not cute. And
Yeah.
if there's a complaint box, definitely write like, what's up with your not understanding anything about supermarket basket protocol?
Yeah, because you're carrying
Were you raised
bags.
on
Like,
Mars?
you can't carry bags and a basket. Like that's just not reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you
That's
can put the
true.
bags in the basket and then whatever. But
Oh,
you
what,
shouldn't
and then
have
put
to.
the
because
I mean,
basket
I don't know
Basket.
though, because sometimes you've got stuff in the basket like stacked, and then when it's in bags, it's like bigger.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. So
Anyway, baskets definitely should go at the front of the register or something like that.
Yep.
There has to be a place, it's in front of the register, isn't it?
Yeah.
a lot of
usually.
the time, I'll run in and I'll think I'm only going to get 2 things. I'm not going to get a basket, and then I've got my 2 things, and I'm like, oh fuck, I need to get 2 other things, and then I have to like run and get the basket, and I don't want to go all the way to the front. So I'm like, yes, please have them at the register for me because I just need to like
Right.
grab a basket.
Yep.
So I think it's a good thing to have them there. I think that should be where they are.
I want to watch Justin Bateman do it because I don't even think he could do it. Like he can't hold glasses.
Oh,
You have
maybe
to
his
watch him hold
refrigerator is
glasses.
where he gets his stuff too.
He's 100%. He has never gone to a fucking supermarket.
Okay.
He's gone to a set that looked like a supermarket.
And probably
didn't know what it was.
did not know how to touch fruit. Anyway.
What am I supposed to do with these normal things? How do I
What is
process
it?
these normal things?
Do I
This
massage
does
the
not look like a
oranges?
fruit bowl.
Dishes, what are
Maybe
dishes?
he just doesn't
I
know how
don't
to do dishes.
understand.
I don't know how to vacuum.
He literally didn't know how to touch glasses. He took glasses, 4 of them, and was like, some in some, not in the others. And like, he was like, why are you
So
doing
the
this? Like,
idea-
you can't do this. You can't do
So
this. Like, what's
gross.
wrong with you? Why are you
But it might
fingering
be
in the
something like
glass?
that.
Don't
Goddamn animal.
don't put your hands in the glass.
No.
Okay. Oh yes, really. Please
Gross.
never.
And he was
Here's
doing
the thing.
the dishes like he was driving like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which I don't know because I
Okay.
wasn't born.
I'm kind of
don't
glad that
know how to do floors.
I'm kind of glad that Justin Bateman doesn't have a normal job because we might be in trouble.
Why, if he was working at Trader Joe's suddenly?
No, if Justin Bateman was a waiter, he wouldn't know. If he's putting water in a glass, he would.
Is it Justin or Jason? Have I been
It's
saying the wrong
Jason.
name the
It's
whole
Jason. I tried to say it before, and then
Because I'm like, it's Justine Bateman, but not okay.
I've just been
Justine.
laughing
my
over
bad.
here, like wondering about who Justin Bateman really is. Because you know that there's a guy somewhere that is Justin Bateman, and you know he probably fucking hates Jason Bateman. Because everybody
Yeah.
always probably says like, "Oh, hey, almost like that
Well,
guy."
there's only his sister is
I bet he
Justine.
knows how to hold a fucking glass.
I bet he does.
Because Jason Bateman is a waiter. Anyway,
You
you're
mean
saying
Justin Bateman?
Justin.
fucking fuck sticks. Forget it. I can't. You know what I'm trying to say.
Holy shit! It's 4:30.
All right. This composite. What were you saying?
Kapatsu.
I was just saying that if the person doesn't know how to normally function, it's probably good that they don't have a job where people depend on them.
Oh yeah, totally. Yes. We're all safer because that Bateman boy is famous. This has been the Kathryn Dunn Show. Check out Supreme Bars at YC. And what?
Oh, I have a
C's podcast.
Matt C's podcast. Matt C's podcast is on Spotify. The latest episode is a spotlight on Annie Lennox. So go check it out.
Love her.
Matt C's podcast on Spotify.
Beautiful. And if you do your nails already through Maniology, if you're into Maniology, you can get 10% off anytime you shop there with TKDS 10, TKDS 10. Do it. Why not? And sad news, Buddy. I loved Buddy. Buddy from Woodstock. I found out today that Buddy passed away, which is I'm not okay with this. He was a very sweet goat. He was actually one of the goats that we talked about even maybe being for Halloween because I loved him so much. He was like a puppy, like a snuggly little puppy boy. And he was raised by a human, and he was like a human companion, like a goat companion to a human, and he had a goat, and then they passed. And then I think he was like 11 when he went to Sanctuary. Maybe he was 13 now, or I think he was 11 now. But yeah, he lived with this human, and was like basically a dog to this human for a long time. And he was just like the sweetest, snuggliest little precious boy. And I'm like very devastated that he's gone. So, Buddy, love you and I miss you, and I'm sad I don't get to see you again, but I'm so happy that I got to meet you. And if you can, send whatever you can to Woodstock Farm Sanctuary because they need help, especially with their electricity bills because it's bigger than before. And this has been the Kathryn Dunn Show. Thank you all so much.
Okay.